Thanks, Morgan and Chrissy. Today on Facts at 5, we're going to talk about real estate. What's going on now, especially in light of the pandemic? Joining me today is licensed real estate broker from Corcoran, Mala Sander. Mala, very excited to have you with us. Thank you for joining the program.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm
How are
super
you?
excited to be here and talk about my favorite topic.
Real estate, all things real estate. Well, obviously,
All things real
a lot
estate.
has changed. Yes. Now you're working out of the Sag Harbor office, but I know you serve all the East End at Corcoran, and you know a lot about what's going on. Tell us, in terms, first of all, since the pandemic, how are you showing? Obviously, I would think it's virtual, but how has this affected what you do and what somebody who's looking to rent or buy needs to do? Start us off there.
Right. So you're absolutely right. We, at the moment, are not allowed to show properties, whether any in-person showings are not allowed. So everything is virtual. So we do showings either if the homeowner or the landlord is in residence. We've actually done showings where they've actually walked us around on a Zoom call with their phone, and they've walked us around and shown us the whole house. If the property is vacant and unoccupied, and with the owner's permission, we have arranged for qualified buyers to walk through the property on their own. We obviously we can't go in with them, but we can make arrangements to do that. And we've had some great success doing that. We've made deals on rentals, and we've made deals on sales that way.
Tell me what's going on with the market now. I mean, I've read a lot of different articles. I mean, we've seen everything from, all these people from Manhattan rushing out east to, with an open checkbook, whatever it is, whatever it takes to get me out of the city. Meanwhile, I'm still in Manhattan, by the way, even though my house of 16 years is there vacant. I don't want to rent it to anybody right now. But the point is, what's going on? Is there a big rush for people to do immediate rentals, short-term rentals, summer rentals, year-round rentals? Let's talk about the rental market right now.
So we started to see a surge in sort of off-season, what we call off-season rentals. Starting in February, we started to get phone calls from people saying, "Hey, do you have something for like a month or a couple of weeks or whatever? We just feel like we come out to the Hamptons in the off season. It'll be a nice deal. The pricing is good. It's always, fairly inexpensive to rent out here. And actually the off season is a great time to be here." So people started saying, "Oh, let's go out to the Hamptons." And then in March, it was like the floodgates opened the first week of March. We were fielding as many as 10 calls a day from people looking to rent for the month of March. Maybe the month of March and April. Some people, very few were farsighted enough to say March, April, and May. But as the time went on, now we're looking at April, May. Now people are saying, "Hey, I want something that I can move into now through Labor Day." At Corcoran, we did 72 rentals in the last 30 days. It's an unbelievable amount. I mean, at this time of year.
But in terms of, are those like extreme high-end rentals, or I'm just curious because is there an average rental market? I'm not talking about like, maybe the further lane properties, that's one extreme, but in a medium level.
Well, we've done everything.
What is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done everything. We've done rentals that are $10,000 a month, and I've done rentals. I just did one that's $200,000 for a month. So it's sort of all over the spectrum, just depending on what people want or need, how big their families are, and where they want to be. It's interesting because I just actually got off the phone with someone who's looking to rent something starting now and be here through Labor Day. And she said, "Well, normally I would say, give me something where I can walk into the village." She said, "But now not so much. That's not so important. I'm not going anywhere. So I'll be anywhere. It doesn't matter." So all of a sudden people are saying, "I don't care where I am. Just get me something."
I'm curious. That's a good point. I was thinking because we don't know day to day how things are going to open up, if at all. I mean, they're going to open up slowly, and how is that going to affect? Do people coming out there care? Do you think if every restaurant is open this summer? You know what I'm saying? Or if there are going to be limitations to what they, expect. I mean, right now, as we're taping this, golf courses are closed, or things like that. I'm just curious as to, is it more of a, let me get out of where I am and I just want to be in the Hamptons, or is it, or are there other things involved? I'm just curious.
Hey, I think that is such an evolving picture of what people are going to find important as time goes on, and we can't, move out of our houses, or we can't go out on the beach. I've heard, like in Florida, the beaches are shut down, right? So thankfully, we don't have that situation here. Golf courses are closed, and right now, boats can't get in the water. We just heard yesterday that pools can now be opened. So hey, happy for all those people that have rented their houses that can now have their pools open, right? So that's a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
No, I think that was interesting. But in terms of, let's talk about, let's say someone is out there and has had a house there for a while. Is this a good time to, or a short while, and they don't want to be in the Hamptons anymore? Let's say that, for whatever reason, is it a good time to sell, or is it? I mean, or is it? I don't know if there's ever a good to sell or not. But in terms of the market, with the instability in the world, we don't know what's going to happen with the stock market, or the people who really, drive a lot of the uptick out there, in terms of finances.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Listen, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody can really say what the market is going to be, what the stock market's going to do, and what's going to happen. But we can judge from experience. We can only say that in the times of crisis in the past, after 9/11, after 2008, those presented tremendous buying opportunities to clients, tremendous opportunities. And for somebody that's looking to upsize or downsize, their house is too big, too small, whatever, this is a good time to trade. I think it's going to be a good time to trade. Once the doors open up again, so to speak, for showings, and we can get people in and out of houses, I think it's going to be a good time to make a move in real estate, whichever move that is that you need to make.
In terms of, would you say that the rental market has exploded out there, or has it just been kind of a little more business as usual? What in terms of it, and what would you say?
Oh, yeah, the rental market has definitely exploded. And let me just expound on my last statement about this being a good time to buy or sell, or I think it's going to be a good time to buy or sell. The reason is, so many people have come out here now and experienced what it's like to be in the Hamptons in the off season and work in the Hamptons. And all of this work from home and teleconferencing and all of that is making it possible for people to actually do their jobs while they're here. So I think people are going to find that instead of being cooped up in their apartment in the city, they can be out here in a wonderful environment. And, I think we have some really great school systems out here. It's public school, it's not private tuition. So there's a lot of trade-offs that people are going to find that they're going to want to make maybe, or be able to make maybe. And so I think it might present a good real estate environment in general out here. So yes, the rental market's exploded. We have a lot of new people here. And that's what happened in 9/11. A lot of new people came out here after 9/11 so they could feel safe and secure outside of the city. And I think that's happening again.
But what do you think in terms, and I don't know if this is a question to ask actually a real estate broker, in terms of an influx of people on the East End, which is already one lane in, one lane out still, and all of the different concerns that the year-round people, the real locals there, I would say the real locals, but I'm saying the people who have this fear that not only are we going to be overcrowded off season when we're not prepared, but people are coming in day tripping and beaches, and doing, people were telling me that Easter people came out and just thought, let's just get out of the city. And, there's that bred kind of, there's a disregard for, what we have here, and we don't want to ruin the beauty. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is a question that you can answer, but I think about that too. And I think about, can we accommodate more people out there living year round? And I guess we could if the houses are there, right? But I'm saying, as far as goods and services and what that does to the community, and are people being respectful when they come out, even for the rentals? Are they just wanting to get escape from Manhattan or elsewhere, and just get to the Hamptons and run to the beach? We still have all this social distancing. Now, this sounds esoteric, but it's been on my mind.
No, it's an interesting point. But No, I can't figure it out, but I can say that again, the same thing happened after 9/11. So before 9/11, the Hamptons was basically such a sleepy town, Sleepyville, after literally it was Tumbleweed Tuesday and then nothing happened, right? After 9/11, that changed and we started to see an influx, yes, of people from New York that were not quote unquote local, but guess what? Those people now make up the fabric of the community. They've got kids in schools. They very much care about the environment. And I think that we're better for it. I think that our services are better for it. I think that our schools are better for it. And I think that our environment is better for it because we have all of these people that do care so much and so deeply about this place, which is now their home and that they love. And I hope that that same trend will continue. I don't know about the numbers and what we can accommodate in the one-lane highway. That I don't know, but I know the houses are already here, many of them. Right.
Right. It has here. And I think it will be interesting to see this summer, how the summer plays out in terms of, because of the pandemic, what would the Hamptons market be like without all the bells and whistles and necessarily? Obviously the beach is the beach, and if we can go to it, we can. And a pool is a pool if that's what's important. But the other parts of it, that kind of playground mentality, and the oh, I don't want to go to town, food shopping now with those I wonder how that will be. Or maybe people just grateful, and maybe we'll start appreciating the natural beauty of it there rather than all of the other stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm being again pushing that envelope, but I think about that.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Who knows? Who knows how it's going to play out? But so many people that I talk to, when they tell me because I always ask the question of people when they say, "Listen, I want to buy a house or I want to rent a house," I say, "Well, what do you like to do? What is it that you enjoy the most about your idea of being in the Hamptons?" I never get, "Oh man, I want to come out. I want to party. I want to do this." You know what? I want to be near the beach. I want to be in with my family. And this is before this whole pandemic. This was like, I stay home. I cook. I don't need to have all the rah-rah. I want to be away from the rah-rah. So many people live, like you and I live, we hang out with our friends, we entertain, dinner party here, there, that's what we do. And, the big party mentality isn't everything.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. So in terms of the market, one more time, would you say that before the pandemic, because I do read things that the end of the quarter in 2019 was slow. Do you think it's going to uptick now, or do you think that we're still going to have to see how it goes financially? And what do you think?
So my perspective on that is yes. Now, 2019 was a very quiet year. 2018 was quiet. 2019 was quiet. But sort of like towards the end of 2019, like I'm going to say November, December, all of a sudden it got super busy. And many of us went into 2020 with the biggest, best year that we had to do, for years. And it was really super busy. Right. I and my team and many of my colleagues that I've spoken to, it had great successes in the beginning. I mean, in terms of sales and some rentals at that point. Now, what happened was those sales are now closed in March and April. I'm still closing some deals right now that were made back then. So it was super busy. It was super busy for everyone. And all of a sudden, March came and you know what happened? Like things got quiet, but then the rental market exploded. The rental market exploded. Yeah. Yeah. So 2020 started off with a bang.
Yeah. Are some people now, and then we're going to have to go, are some people wanting longer term rentals? Are they going from summer into the fall, or have you seen any of that?
I've done a couple of year-round rentals. I've seen a couple of things rent year-round, definitely. But so far, I've seen the March and the April people want to extend into May and June. All those rentals get extended if they're still available. Right. And now I'm seeing people say, "Can I move in today and be here for the season?" Because I think the question mark up till now for those people has been, is school going to reopen? And that's why they didn't really make the commitment for, May and June, because they thought, well, we're going to be back in school. And now that's not it doesn't look like that's happening. Right. So who knows what's going to happen? I read something.
Yeah. In terms of renting, I did read something that that made me pause, and that in terms of the Governor Cuomo, putting this moratorium on evictions. So if I were to rent my house to someone and they, God forbid, got sick, with say coronavirus while they were at my house, I couldn't technically, I don't know if I would want, evict them because well, I thought that was an odd thing. I guess you always have to be concerned when you do rent your house for many reasons, but dude, I thought that was interesting.
No, it is interesting. The rental laws have changed quite a bit, and also now with the corona, it's changed quite a bit. So yeah, you have to be careful and cognizant of what you're doing if you're going to rent your house. And yes, that could be a possibility. It's something that you have to take into account and be prepared for. So if you have your house rented, for example, if you're rented already for July and you've got somebody that wants to come in for May and June, you have to think about that.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, obviously the Hamptons have survived a lot, and it's always the beautiful place, I think. And hopefully everybody who's out there is respectful and enjoying it. And I hope that it's a good season as much as that can be. I know it's going to be a different year, it seems like, for everyone. But, this kind of reset is interesting. And I thank you for joining us. Is there anything to say? That could be
thank you so much for having me.
They're thinking of, yeah. Thank you, Mala. And have a great season. Be safe and well. Thank you. Mala Sander from
You too.
Corcoran.
Stay healthy. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.